Hello everyone, welcome back to Coach Overwatch, the series where we look at user-submitted footage to help people grow and become better at the game we love, Overwatch. To get the formalities out of the way, if you want your footage to be looked at and submitted for Coach Overwatch, let me know down in the comments, send me a YouTube message, or you can email me. You can find my email in the description of each video. But anyway, to get things started, we're going to be hanging out with Moonlander and his D.Va, and they're going to be attacking on Dorado. This is their second match against this team, and as we can see, the team only made it to 2 points. They were able to successfully hold them back from completing the round, and let's just kick things off. Okay, so right out of the bat, great push in getting everyone out of the spawn, using that defense matrix to keep everyone safe and get the ball rolling with the match. As we've seen in previous episodes, enemies like to hang out on the left and right flanks. Here we just said, screw it, and we made that push to at least get the match started, and I liked that a lot. On the flip side though, I think that boost right there was a little bit, a little too risky, I guess we could say, because we don't know exactly what's around this corner. It could be anyone, and as we can see, we have a Junkrat ball, or bomb, I guess we could say, coming right for us. And unfortunately, we get snared. So, I just don't think, I think that was a little bit too aggressive. Great aggressive push, but then we were a little overzealous as far as our boost push. And I have to say, really great job backpedaling and then using this time to kind of take a breather and then take out both the Torbjorn and his turret. So, it worked out well. Let's watch our first little team fight, I guess you could say. Okay, so the big thing I want to talk about here is her turrets, Symmetra's turrets right here, can do a lot of damage right away. And especially if there's 3 of them, which there are, and they stack and no one bothers to take care of them. So great job flicking over, knowing what needs to be done, and make sure you kept your team safe. Okay, so I want to explain this tactic right here for maybe some newer players. This is called peeking, and what you've done is essentially, think back to Call of Duty, kind of like a head glitch, where, okay, head glitch is a little harsh because it's not that intense of a difference, but here you are able to see the most of the enemy players while they can only see a little bit of you. It's very advantageous. It allows you to apply pressure but also keep yourself safe. So great job peeking, and we're going to see another really good example of that in the future. Some more good peeking, and then right here, okay, we all are guilty of this. We hear the Reinhardt make his push, and we all zip to see what's going on. And right here, we can see the Roadhog, but I think we focused a little bit too long. I think our Reinhardt would have had this. We just watched and watched, and the Zarya unfortunately was able to come and take out your suit. So be mindful, don't neglect situations behind you just because there might be something else going on the other side. Thankfully, Zenyatta comes in and kind of rebuilds that team momentum we just lost right there. And I want to point this out. This is going to be a very common trend, but great job with your out-of-suit D.Va play. You do a very good job moving left and right or strafing and peppering the enemy to quickly recharge your mech suit. So great job, and you also respect the squishiness. You stay behind the Reinhardt shield, you don't get too close, and you keep yourself alive. Let's go back because there's something I want to talk about very, very soon. Okay, so we got taken out. What exactly happened here? We're going to go back to this team fight so we can kind of see everyone. So keep in mind that most of our enemy players are on the left-hand side. We have a turret right here, and I don't remember if exactly someone's there or not. Nope. So here they all are. They're right there. We're fighting. We're fighting. We're fighting. Oh, okay, so everyone kind of disappeared. And right there, we saw the Zarya dart off to the left. What does that mean? Well, if we think back, map knowledge is very, very helpful. And there's a set of stairs on this side. So, you guessed it, probably majority of the enemy team is going to be doing that flank up there, which then becomes apparent because the Pharah does take us out. But not only us. Let's watch this kill cam, because here's the danger of the situation. She kills you. She kills the Zenyatta. And probably more than likely, she's going to take out that Ana as well. So, build a habit. Excuse me, that was you. And then there was the Ana. So, build the habit of turning around and just kind of peeking potential corners or danger zones that the enemy could surprise you with, because we can keep that kind of stuff from happening. Okay, let's see if we caught what just happened, because this is a quick little bonus tip for our support players out there. I main Zenyatta, I love Zenyatta, and actually the last episode of Coach Overwatch was, well, Zenyatta. And what that looks like Fuskers. I like that name, Fuskers. What Fuskers does is he realizes, uh-oh, where's my teammates? And he makes the conscious decision to turn around and go behind his tank. Guys, quick tip, if you're support, be on the back. Be the healers, be the damage assisters, especially in Zenyatta's favor, and be behind your teammates where they need you. This right here is my favorite thing that you do, Moonlander, and I think it's awesome. What you've done is you've stopped, you've turned around, and waited for your team. And it was brilliant. Thank you so much for doing that. It helps team fights go a lot smoother, and it keeps everyone together. Here's the confusing thing. So I'm going to let this battle play out, and then I'll kind of divide it into half and half. Half good, half bad of this situation. So let's just watch this fight. Okay, so I'm going to go back. We're going to go way back. Let's start with the good. So the good is, I think Moonlander has learned from his mistake. Hopefully that is true, Moon. Tell me. Because I see evidence of that in the future. So we knew that we got flanked from above. We were taken out and we neglected that potential danger area. So the first thing we did out of spawn is we went up there to double check. And lo and behold, we were right. So great job. And the coolest thing is you were able to shut down her ultimate. You stuffed it 100%. And why she used it now, I don't quite understand. So great job with the defense matrix and making sure that she didn't fly up above and then rain down from above and potentially wipe your team. Potentially, it's a big maybe, but that's the thing. It's a maybe because it could happen. So great job getting up there. Great job making sure you canceled out her ultimate and having her wasted on you. So let's talk about the bad. The first thing is that kind of confuses me is we purposely turned around and waited for our team, but then in the moment where it counted, we were very, very quick to leave them. So it doesn't make much sense to me. It wasn't the first play in my mind of what to do. So if you're going to wait for your team, hang out with them for a little bit. See how a battle pans out before we dip out and go somewhere else. The second thing, so you stuff the ult, really, really, really awesome. I'm happy to see that happen. And then we get blown out of our mech suit. Here's the thing. In Dorado, we know these archways exist. We've seen snipers in them. We've seen Hanzos in them. So when we were at a disadvantage here, 2 against 1, I think what would have been a lot smarter is just to dart out to the left, strafe, shoot to regain your mech suit, and just fall back to safety. Instead, we kind of walked ourselves into death as we allowed those rockets of hers to create splash damage and eventually take you out. So be mindful of escape routes when you need them, because most of the time in Overwatch, Blizzard has been very good at giving us ways out of situations that, well, we're in trouble. Okay, I'm going to zoom ahead just to get us back into the fight a little bit. And, well, I guess I should say not into the fight. I need to go back a little bit further because I want people to hear the situation. And for new players out there, I want you to take the time to guess on what's happening right now and try to figure out what the goal of this situation is. Okay, have you figured it out yet? No? Well, let's just see what happens. Okay, this is fantastic. So, a little bit of behind the scenes for you guys. I can't hear the gameplay, so I watched the gameplay once just to watch it casually. I watch it again, and then I watch it again to critique it. And then by the fourth time I watch it, hopefully I've remembered all of the cues and sounds and everything that's going on. So I remember a teammate in game says a teleporter is nearby. Can't say who, I can't say the exact line, but I know it happened. And Moonlander knows it happened. And with the mobility of D.Va, he was able to run in the back, check potential spots that teleporter could be, where eventually he finds it. And this is awesome because now it's shut off the enemy team from having a consistent flow of baddies that would cause headache and definitely weigh the battles into their favor because people have to walk from spawn. Not everyone can just pop right up thanks to her ultimate. So great job taking it upon yourself to find the teleporter and take it out. And this is going to be our instance where we use our first ultimate. And honestly, it's okay. Let's watch it. Okay, so with D.Va, we've used our booster. And unfortunately, once we've popped the ultimate, we seem to have lost our momentum. And we do take out a lot of enemy players, which is great. But let's really watch what happens. Okay, unfortunately, we were a little shy, and Mercy was able to use her ultimate. So, what can we do in this situation? I think what would be very, very beneficial is to practice your ranges for how far you can push that ultimate. Because if we look here, there she is. Had we gotten this more in the middle of the fight, we could have possibly taken her out and stuffed her from being able to even revive anyone. So, go into training mode, practice just throwing the suit around. Where can we get it in a quarter of our boost? Where can we get it at the maximum potential of our boost? Where can we get it if we... Who knows? You can practice it with whatever. But the main thing is practice. So, good ultimate. It just was unfortunate that she was able to bring everyone back. And we're going to watch this team fight, and we're going to talk about things that I think could have played out a little bit differently. Alright, so right here, point number one, we've already lost our suit. And what would have happened, or what could have happened that I think would have been a lot more advantageous, would be to go, holy crap, everyone's back, I have one Genji, but really, this isn't good. I think this would have been great time to, boom, use your boosters to get out of danger. Get behind the team and take a breather, activate that defense matrix, and look, Zenyatta's even popped his ultimate to counter the team fight. It just would have been a lot safer and wiser to get out of danger. Because, as you guessed it, the enemy's behind and they're going to take you out. Okay, we're going to zoom into the fight a little bit more. Right about here. Okay, so what you're about to do is just jump off, which makes sense, but let's go back a little bit before we boosted 100%. So we know our teammates are right there, and you boost it up here, and you have kind of a height advantage, if you will, because in my opinion, D.Va has this tool of annoyance pressure, I guess you could say, because boom, 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 they may only hurt like marshmallows and not take too much damage off, but by being up here, you're able to pepper everyone. Maybe she would dive back into cover, or you could have taken out her sentry. And anyone else that would have come through, you could be almost reconnaissance. You could say, uh-oh, we have a enemy Junkrat who's returning from spawn. He's laying down traps behind the fountain. Anything. You're at a height advantage here. And the most important thing, let's pretend, okay? Keyword pretend. I know this isn't happening right now, but let's pretend it was a 6v6 team fight right now. Had you been up in this perch, it would have made maybe 1, 2, 3, heck, the whole enemy team divide their attention from your teammates in the actual funnel coming through to looking up to you. And you could have popped your defense matrix or done something to keep yourself out of danger. But more importantly, you could have distracted the enemy team long enough where maybe that Reinhardt came in, did his ultimate, and the team could have taken out the enemy team just because they looked up at the wrong time. So in the future, think about height advantage that you have. Even if you just stay up there for 2 seconds and you say, is this good? Do I want to stay here? Yes, no. It's a lot better than just coming up here and then going for the kill. And we're back. Unfortunately, I had some technical difficulties. Yes, it does happen. My mouse would not allow me to hit the pause button to talk about some more things. So let's just get right back into it. As we talked, we just needed to stay up on our perch a little bit more. There were some advantages and moving in for the kill. So let's just dive right into the next team fight and see what happens. Okay, good job getting out of the trouble and make sure no one was hitting you from behind, just like before. Once again, that touches on the ability you have to learn from your mistakes and knowing what works and what doesn't. So you used your boost to get out of dodge free. Making a push. And then here's my favorite thing about this fight. Okay, so we know the Junkrat is right here. But it doesn't matter because you are very good at targeting the healers. And a team is not going to protect their healer like they should. And in this instance, it doesn't happen. So by you taking out the Mercy, it shut down everyone else from remaining healthy. And I think it was really, really well worth the chase. And you really get a double kill. And it's actually pretty cool. So let's just watch it. Awesome play. I like it a lot. Guys, if you are in the thick of things and you can see a Lucio or Zenyatta or Mercy making sure everyone's healthy, take them out first. It'll keep everyone at bay. Here, we're getting hit with some more rockets, and this is something I don't quite agree with. We're peppering. Okay, she is hurt. And I like this chase right here. However, we overextend, and boom, we're back in the enemy spawn. And we're looking, and we don't secure the kill. Mercy's back. There's another player right there. We can't see who, but we know they've hit us. And then Farah's right there creating problems. What I think would have been a lot better is to just have landed right on that rooftop right there. You would have had that height advantage like we talked about before, and then you for sure would have gotten the Farah. So don't overextend, practice boosting, knowing when to cancel. Just land on the roof. It's a lot safer. On the other hand, I do have to say you were very, very smart in using your defense matrix to, well, back out of there. A lot of times in this series, we've seen players who just hightail it. They turn around and run. And I always stress the fact, well, shoot and move backwards at the same time. This is kind of the same story. You just kept yourself healthy while doing it. So great job not turning your back on the enemy. Okay, this ultimate right here, I don't really agree with. It just was a little bit too blind. You've heard me say it in the series before, a blind ult is not a good ult. And unfortunately, it just doesn't really do the job that we were hoping it to do. Here though, this is pretty awesome and honestly kind of funny. So let's just watch. Once again, she has wasted her ultimate on you. Please don't be offended by it. I don't mean that you're a waste. But what I mean by is that team was walking around that your team, I guess I should say, or specify, your team was walking around with the payload. She could have boosted up in the air, ultimated everyone, and possibly gotten a team wipe. But instead, she's using it to kind of save her butt. So let this be a lesson to everyone. Save your ultimates. Don't hoard them, but also don't use them at the wrong time. Unfortunately, she does get your suit, but you're able to get her, which is really, really awesome. And that's the second time you've shut down her ultimate. So good job. And then here again, we're going to see another display of how good you are with D.Va outside of her mech suit. I love the way you respect her squishiness and you keep your distance. One quick thing, the payload is really, really good cover, but for those who don't know, the payload also heals you as well. So that's just a random fact of the day, I guess we could say. Okay, so right here, I can tell. I know exactly what you're thinking. You're thinking, I gotta get out of here. This is getting a little hairy. And then thankfully, Zenyatta once again activates his ultimate, which rebuilds that momentum that your teammates had. You're creating pressure, you're building your ultimate back, or I guess I should say your suit in this case. Here's my thing, and this is a common trend. We're gonna really, really dive into it in the near future. But I want you to kind of monitor your aggressive levels as a tank. That's all I'm going to say right now because we're going to dive deeper into it a little bit later for sure. But just be mindful of your aggression. Let's watch this fight. And our suit's gone. So, on the one hand, I'm very, very glad that you don't just hang back and plink away at nothing. But on the other hand, I think you just are a little too reckless sometimes. Like I said, we'll dive into it a little bit further. But this is just another time I get to highlight how well you respect. I can't say it any better than this. The term is respecting your squishiness as zero mech suit D.Va. I like it a lot, so good job. And honestly, her gun's really, really powerful. So watch this. You're gonna actually do very, very well with it. You take out Junkrat's trap, which I think was more of an accident, but hey, it's still pretty cool. And then by using the payload, both underneath and the sides, you stuff the Roadhog. So great job. You hang back, and I can't say what you did was terrible because you didn't die. You just lost your suit, but then your conservative play nature as the squishy D.Va kept you alive and really kept you a valuable asset of your team. Okay, so here comes another team fight. Back in the suit. And right here, we knew someone that went to the left, and we can't tell who, but I want to stress the importance of how great it is that you didn't succumb to that trap, I guess you could say. You knew to whip right back around and make sure you prioritized the main funnel right here and kept everyone at bay a little bit. So great job. It kept your teammates safe and it allowed you to keep aware of the situations going on. Great defense matrix just to kind of get a different flank. You're going to once again peek. And let's see how this goes. Okay, everyone's just kind of shown up. But thankfully, your teammates come in. Unfortunately, we lose our suit, which isn't a bad thing. Like I've talked about, I think we'll stress it a little bit soon. I think you're a better D.Va player outside of your mech suit. I'm sorry, don't be offended. Trust me, it's a compliment because that's hard to do. But just hear me out. Watch this. Okay, Zenyatta's coming in with his ult. We have the momentum. And right here, we see the Torbjorn. But then we see his gunner right here, his turret, if you will. And this is probably some of the best peeking I've ever seen. And it's very, very wise to do this because you're plinkering away. Plink, plink, plink. Unfortunately, he pops his ult, as we can hear. So it sets it back to full health. It's almost gone. But once again, we get our suit. We go in there, pop, 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 pop. it's just a little too dangerous. We back out, which is good. Unfortunately, we just weren't able to take it out. Here's another ultimate. This one, I know what you were going for. The setup is there. But let's watch. Nothing. Now, I'm not going to fault you. I know exactly what you were going for. We all know what you were going for. We knew the turret was there. We know he was back there because he just took out our support. And then the Roadhog for like a little cherry on top. So I'm just going to call this bad luck. The only tip I can give you is just give a little bit more planning. Had we waited a little bit longer, we could have seen maybe the flow of where everyone was going. Is he hooking back around? Which is what he does. So just plan a little bit more instead of throwing them randomly out there. 3 of them, 3 for 3, one being a decent ultimate. I feel like they all 3 were a little bit random. So give just a second to plan. Here we go again. We're back in the suit. What do? We boost right back into danger. And it just doesn't work out 100% because it's gone. We have our suit, it's gone. We have our suit, it's gone. We have our suit, it's gone. And I have one more example, and it's kind of like the driving home force. I'm not trying to just point out a flaw, but I want you to notice how many times this happens in a game. Let's continue watching. So, great job falling back. I guess I should add that in there because, I mean, it's really good. Okay, this is the one. This is the one I've kind of been waiting for, hinting at, I guess. So, notice the time. It is 15:52 of our clip. Let's see how long the mech suit can last. The one before this, not very long. The one before that, not very long. And the one before that, well, I can't remember, but we can safely assume not very long. So, let's literally watch this and see how long we have it. 15:52 is our time. We're going to hit play. The first thing we do is we boost. And it's right into the enemy's basically hands. We're already at 42. And we're dead. That's 10 seconds. 11 seconds, technically, if you count the jump out time. Now, please, I understand the power of D.V.A's boost. It catches people off guard. It surprises the enemy. And then it also allows you to kind of plop nicely behind the enemy. I think twice it not working out is when we should stop and say, okay, let's just work on our aggression. I'm going to rewind it just so we can kind of watch that play out again. I'm not picking on you, Moonlander. I just want you to understand the over-aggressiveness that we have and work on it. Here we go. We boost. What's going on below us? Could our teammate have needed our defense matrix, or could we have planned out our attack a little bit better? It just doesn't seem right. Yeah, we're getting hit from all sorts of angles. Okay, so we're out of our suit. What's going to happen? Right on it. We're just respecting. We're not hanging over the edge. We're staying back, keeping line of sight of people we could hit so we can recharge our ultimate. I think it's awesome. Unfortunately, here comes our Junkrat pressure. Now, I'm just going to quickly talk about this. It's really, really brief. It's nothing major. It's just a possibility. So, Moonlander is going to dart off, get damaged, and a Soldier 76 is going to come up next to him. And what I think could have happened is use that soldier as a healing. Well, you have 2 options. There's a health pad behind you, which you could have grabbed. He could have dropped his health pod, and then really you might have had your suit back. He even says my ultimate is ready. So with him, with his tactical visor, you guys could have sandwiched the enemy into a tough spot and maybe carried the point home. But unfortunately, it just does not pan out that well. Junkrat, pretty aware player. He's going to notice your green bolts. He knows he's already hit you once, so here comes the pressure. And spoiler alert, guys. Unfortunately, the game ends up in a draw 2-2. However, the enemy team has won a match prior to this, so it ultimately winds up in a defeat. I'm going to rewind just to kind of like a random spot back in the gameplay because it is the time where I pull out the notes and talk about the things that I think you did really, really well and the stuff to work on. So let me just jump back there and try to find something interesting to watch. This'll work, I bet. All right, let me pull up my notes. So, in summary, number one, I think it was awesome the way when you were coming out of spawn that you stopped and waited for your teammate to regroup. It's very, very valuable to go into a fight with a full force instead of scattered teammates. And that's a common thing we see happening in our Coach Overwatch game feels. That's Sunday, Grant. So, rebuild the team and come at him with full force. Number two, great use of your defense matrix. Even right here, we can see it shutting down that ult. But even when you're retreating, wonderful job. A lot of people like to turn around and put their back to the enemy and try to get out of there as fast as possible. But you put up a fighting chance and greatly increased your odds of getting out of there. And then number three, wonderful job of using your mobility to track down Symmetra's teleporter. And here it is. So great job using your mobility, getting in there, finding it, and taking it upon yourself to shut down that gateway, if you will, of the enemy team constantly coming in and applying pressure. So now we get to the part where I got to talk about stuff that I think we need to work on. Number one, I think you should work on your ultimate placement. Go into practice mode, go into training with bots, and see your levels of effectiveness depending on how much boost you use to launch your mech suit before it explodes. Try it at full force, try it at a fraction of the force, try it at half, just to kind of see and plan for different situations. And then number two, work on noticing enemy flanks. You definitely learned from your mistakes. Ooh, I should add that in the top three. Great job remembering your mistakes and learning from them. I think that's wonderful. So look at that, you got like a bonus tip. So number two, work on the flanks and enemy movement patterns. When they were able to outflank you and take out two of your supports, including you, just be mindful of where'd they go? Where are they planning to go? Where could they possibly go? And then number three, in my opinion, the most important thing to take out of this video, Moonlander, is to work on your aggression. It seemed to me, and there seemed to be a pattern, that when you got your mech suit after you used your ultimate or you just got it back, on average, and I hate to say it, but on average, you kept it for about 10 seconds. And that is not very valuable to the team. The team's relying on you to be their shield and their driving force on the battlefield. So use your defense matrix to help make that push a little bit more effective. And I think the best way to think about this would be to find a hybrid. Work on, not a hybrid right now. What you should do is treat your playstyle with the mech the exact same as when you have your suit, or excuse me, when you're in your suit or out of your suit. So play conservatively. Take a step back, hang out behind your teammates or behind the payload, and judge your effectiveness levels. And then from there, create a hybrid of playstyles. So we know, okay, I'm a little bit too defensive. I need to push a little bit further, or this is the time to wind up behind my enemies. And by doing so, you'll find your sweet spot, if you will, of aggressive playstyle and defensive playstyle that I think will ultimately turn you into a better tank. I can't thank you enough for sending in your video, Moonlander. You are an awesome player. There's a few things we need to work on, but hey, that's all of us. I've enjoyed coaching you, and I hope you enjoyed the series. And you guys out there, if you want to be a part of this, let me know. I want to help. It is a blast making these, and honestly, I can't stress enough how much of I've learned personally just by watching this footage and helping you guys. So smash that like button, subscribe for Coach Overwatch every Friday. If you're feeling up to it, check out Game Fields, which premieres every Sunday. Guys, this is Jack and No Trades. Subscribe for more, and let me know what you think. I'm signing off.